Well, what's up? What's up? AW here. Welcome to the Dissect, my Dissect channel, my third channel. Welcome. I know it's a Saturday. It is a Saturday. That you all know. It is a Saturday. Usually I would do Let's Talk Pop on my main channel. Instead of the Dissect. But we're going to do something a little different. There's reasons why. We're doing a little switcheroo with the Let's Talk Pop and the Dissect. For this weekend only. It's only for this weekend, guys. Only for this weekend. Because tomorrow we'll do Let's Talk Pop. Tomorrow, Let's Talk Pop is going to basically, we're talking about June 2, part 2. And that's pretty, and other Superman stuff and other stuff. We'll talk about other stuff in the world of entertainment tomorrow on Let's Talk Pop. Update that. I just have to make the thumbnail on the stream. I got the pictures that I need for the thumbnail. I'll just set that up for tomorrow. So yeah. So I gotta set that up. But yeah, I'm gonna set that up a little later tonight. It's not set up now, but I'm gonna set it up later tonight. Later, yeah. But so Let's Talk Pop. So we're gonna do Dissect today. So yeah, welcome to the show, guys. And the Dissect, we're gonna talk a lot of comic book stuff, John Campea stuff in particular. A lot of John Campea stuff. Basically all John Campea stuff. No Grace, no others. Just all John Campea today. Superman logo. We're gonna hear his thoughts on Superman stuff, the logo, the costume change. We're gonna hear his stuff on the Penguin show. Also, the news of basically confirmation who the villain is going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine. And before I get into, before I start my first video. Before I start my first video, I'm looking what else. No, just those three videos. So Deadpool, Wolverine, Superman, and the Batman. Well, Penguin Batman. And we're gonna start off. Let's go with the Superman stuff. Okay, we're gonna start off the Superman stuff. Just a minute. Get rid of the 10 minutes long. So before I pull this up, Superman on the Legacy. Well, not Superman Legacy anymore. But as you know, if you haven't paid attention, Superman just celebrated his birthday a couple days ago. So with the celebration of Superman, 86 years, I believe. It's that old. We got the first logo reveal of the Superman logo, which I have here. I think I have it right here. Right here. And this will be on the Let's Talk Pop, obviously. Okay. Yeah, okay. And also the title of the film, Superman Legacy, has just been changed to Superman. I hope you haven't been living under a rock because that's big news. Okay, let's pop up Campea now. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see in his words, his panel's words, who's ever there, Chris Carr, Robert Burnett, whoever he has. It might be Chris Carr this time. Let's pull this up.
I'm not saying it's going to be the best, but probably the most important film that DC maybe has ever done is in Superman Legacy. Because it's going to be the first film in their attempt to kind of revitalize the DC brand. They've shut down the old DCEU. We're going into this new DCU era, and they've got to start strong. They have to. 100%. They absolutely have to. Well, James Gunn got on social media and gave us a number of really interesting tidbits. The folks over at Variety give us this. James Gunn announced that February 29th, that's yesterday, marked the start of filming on his new Superman movie, which will kick off the rebooted DC universe under the supervision of him and his DC Studios co-boss, Peter Safran. Gunn also revealed that his movie had been titled Superman Legacy, is now simply called Superman. He wrote this: overjoyed to be announcing that the start of principal photography on Superman today, February 29th, which just so happens to be, and coincidentally and unplanned, Superman's birthday. Gunn wrote on a caption on a photo of what appears to be a close-up of his version of the
you really believe, or you know what? You really believe it was not a non-coincidence, an unplanned? Come on. We're not that naive. We're not that stupid, please. We're not that stupid, or are we? I'm sure you're not that stupid. I don't believe it for a second. I really don't believe that for any second, okay? That starting filming, basically going in production, was not planned coincidentally with the birthday of Superman. When Superman was first created, invented. Come on. They did it on purpose. Come on.
Superman costume. When I finished the first draft of the script, I called the film Superman Legacy. By the time I locked in the final draft, it was clear that the title was Superman. He added, making our way to you, July 2025. So a little over a year and a couple of months away from now. So, number one, this movie, which we have been talking about now forever, it's actually shooting. As we speak, there's a set with cameras rolling, actors acting, green screen flowing, whatever.
Yeah,
there's a Superman movie being shot right now.
There's a Superman movie being shot right now.
Word that I like to use, the tangibilization of this movie, and I'm completely stoked about it. Also, the title change. I like the title change.
Shooting this movie in Ohio.
I remember we had this debate back when Man of Steel was coming out, that should it have just been called Superman? And there are some people who felt that, you know what, no, that would be disrespectful to the Christopher Reeves iteration. I'm like, how's it disrespectful to the Christopher Reeves iteration to have the same
there's
title?
a whole comic line called Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, go figure. But they went with Man of Steel. I love the title. Love the title Man of Steel. There are some people thinking then when James Gunn said they're going to do one, some people thought it would be called Man of Tomorrow.
How about this? The Superman. How about this? Every single movie, DC movie, is going to be like the Batman. We're going to call it the Superman, the Supergirl, the Wonder Woman, the Authority, the Booster Gold, the Green Lanterns, the Plastic Command. Everything has to have the in front of it. The THE. The. How about that? Let's do all that for emphasis. Let's emphasize the. Right? I'm just kidding. I've been to Cleveland, Cincinnati. Or not. You know what? I'll defend Cleveland. I can't really defend Cincinnati that much. I've been in it, but Cleveland gets a bad rep as a city. I actually enjoyed my time in Cleveland. I actually enjoyed my time in Cleveland. But Cincinnati, I've been a little bit. I can't say much. I've been in Cleveland more than Cincinnati. But let's get with this video. Let's get to this stream.
Or, whatever other kind of nickname Superman went by, and they said Superman Legacy, good title, whatever. But I love symbolically the idea of just getting back to Superman. Number one, because there's
Yeah,
a
that's all you
purity
need.
to it
You need
that I really
Superman,
like.
just the
But number
title.
two, that it kind of marks that this is the beginning. This is the beginning of a brand new era of the
Okay,
DCU. Whether the
Degrassi,
era will be good,
Degrassi. Okay. So this is wrestling related. Wrestling related / DC related. So John Cena for WrestleMania. John Cena may not be able to do anything for WrestleMania this year, whether have a match or not, because apparently around that time, season 2 of Peacemaker is going to start up. Is James Gunn not going to be directing season 2 of Peacemaker? Is this somebody else going to be running the show for Peacemaker season 2 while James Gunn does Superman Legacy? Because the reports right now, apparently Cena may not be available for WrestleMania because Peacemaker season 2. But I'm like, wait a minute, is James Gunn? If James Gunn is doing this film, because in doing this film, who's doing on Peacemaker season 2? Oh, see, you're right, because Degrassi, when they come to Toronto, they use the main train station, Union Station in Toronto, as like not Times Square Station. What's the main train station in New York? Grand Central Station. Yeah, I think it's Grand Central, right? In New York City. They kind of use the station in Toronto like Grand Central, right? They did it for X-Men, at least. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about Peacemaker season 2 starting filming relatively soon. No, this came, but this report came through a wrestling website. It's not through not through more of the Hollywood. It came through a wrestling trade. Yeah, but like he won't be done with Superman in a month, right? Because WrestleMania is basically 5 weeks. 5 weeks. 5 weeks is to WrestleMania. He's not gonna be done shooting Superman in 5 weeks. So I don't know if maybe John Cena has something else, not Peacemaker, that he's shooting right now. Because there's no way James Gunn is gonna finish Superman in 5 weeks. Okay? 5 weeks. They're not gonna no. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly my point. So I don't know how this lines up with John Cena and Peacemaker season 2. So I don't know how that all lines up. I mean, maybe they assume it's Peacemaker season 2, but maybe they think it's something else. Let's see what John Cena's upcoming filmography, what he has in the works. That's not season 2. Maybe it's something else. I'm checking. I gotta find it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Where is it? Oh, there we go. No. Everything that he has, according is done. Oh, he's filming a movie called Head of State. Head of State right now. I that came into my mind too. That came into my mind. But he is filming a movie called Head of State. But I don't know if I don't know when they started filming that movie. Yeah. So I don't think it is. So I don't know what it is then. If it's not okay, so maybe you just. So I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I assume it's because he's filming something, but I don't think it's Peacemaker. But let's continue.
good or bad, we have to wait and find out. But that being said, just calling Superman. And now look, The title of a movie has never made a movie better or worse, right? Changing the title from Superman Legacy to Superman, if this movie was going to be terrible or is going to be terrible, calling it Superman isn't going to help it. But for just
That's not true. That's not true. A title could actually a title actually could hurt a movie. Yeah, that's a good point. And we know Vigilante and Hardcore are gonna be season 2, right? That's confirmed. That's a good point, Pussmaster. That's a good point. That's a good point. You know, I don't know if anybody asked him. Should I ask him a thread? He might say no. He might not be able to say yes or no. Or he might keep that as a surprise. That's a good point. But John Campea, let me tell you something. A title means a lot, okay? Some titles are just jokes. And Dune, I have breaking news here, guys. When the Dune trilogy ends, there's gonna be a Dune 4. It's gonna be called Dune 4, The Return of Cara Dune. Breaking news.
titles, I like it. I like the symbolism. I like what it represents. There's a purity to it, and I really like that. What is a little bit more interesting was that Gunn seemingly revealed the new logo on Superman's chest in his post, which is this one.
Yeah.
Now, for some of you who may look at that and say, okay, that looks a bit different
Yeah,
than the
that's true.
traditional Superman S. Yes.
He's trying to
But
build
there's
them
also
up,
going to be a
right?
lot of you who look at that and say, what?
You know what he is like? He's trying to help build up new. You know, WWE in the mid '90s, in the late '90s, had to build up new superstars. Out was Hogan, Savage, Scott Hall, Nash, guys like that. They had to build up Austin, Triple H, McFoley, The Rock. Right? That's what it's like. James Gunn is doing, and he's good at that. He's one of the few is able to make characters that rarely get mentioned. Or kind of D-list characters. People get some notice, notoriety, and people fall in love with them. Like Ratcatcher. When I heard Ratcatcher was going to be in Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad movie, Ratcatcher, seriously? And people fell in love with that character.
What is it? There's something very familiar about that.
Exactly.
Well, it might be because it looks like
It's working titles for business purposes to keep people guessing. It's basically a placeholder title, right? It's a placeholder for
this. And you got that image there ready, Jonathan?
Yeah.
It looks a lot like this. From one of the most classic comic book stories ever told.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like this. Familiar about that. Well, it might be because it looks like this. And you got that image there ready, Jonathan?
Yeah.
It looks
No, it doesn't. Oh, the style is, but the color isn't. The style does, but the color isn't, though. The color scheme isn't, though. Genesis? Oh yeah.
looks a lot like this. From one of the most classic comic book stories ever told, Kingdom Come. And that is the design of the Kingdom Come. Now, those of you with keen vision probably saw that there's some differences. So if we go back to the other one there, this Superman one from Kingdom Come has got black behind the red. This one still has that. The new James Gunn one has still the gold behind the red. So it's not identical, but it's a little bit different. One of the reasons too that I kind of like changing the S up a little bit is because, and I know this is not going to be the popular opinion. That's fine. I've always thought it was kind of weird that Superman put a giant S. I'm Superman, just like putting your name on your underwear. And I've always really liked what they did in Man of Steel, where they kind of started to change the mythology about, you know, when Henry Cavill says it's actually not an S, it's a symbol that stands for hope. And so any kind of little deviation to make it look more like a symbol?
Yeah, but a letter is not a good symbol to use just for to mean something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I could easily put B. I could put B for Batman as a symbol for hope. It is not good. It's not a good letters are. I'm sorry. I know sports teams use it all the time, right, for stuff like that. But I'm sorry, a letter is just not good. I mean, come on, you can use any letter. I know Superman S stands for Superman. It's also on his planet stands for hope. Yeah. Why do you think? Why is Superman called Superman in the first place? Yeah. Do you know why Superman is called Superman in the first place? Because he could do basically anything, right? Super strength, super speed, super fly, could could freeze with his breath, heat vision, stuff like Superman. That's all it is. He's like a man who has all these incredible powers. A Superman, superpowers. That's it. It's if you really think about it, it's very basic. It's very basic. Okay. Now, if Superman didn't have, if Superman back then, that character created Superman, great character. But if you created a Superman character now, um, people wouldn't buy it because he was really the first. He's really the first hero, comic book hero that we got to see use powers, right? So it all made sense. It all made sense why he's called Superman. But now, if you create Superman now, since we have other characters and other comic books from whatever company that could have abilities, powers now, Superman would be nothing. Superman would just be another comic book character that has powers. But back then, since you had all the build up, all that, when it was first of its kind to be able to have these abilities, that's why it's called Superman. It worked, and since his brand, yeah, you can say his brand's damaged, but it hasn't gone to a point where he's a joke. I'm sorry, he's not a joke. But now, the Superman character these days would not. I mean, if you came up a character named Superman now with these powers, it would not work. It would not work because we see other comic book characters with powers. It would not work. And the S symbol, I agree with DeGrassi. It just means S. You see why Batman has a symbol of a bat, kind of his logo on his chest. It doesn't matter which version. That works because it represents Batman.
Then a letter
S
did not
represents
get
Superman, right? Superman was really the first of its kind to have powers. Right? Normally, supposedly some living being, humanoid living being. Yes, he is humanoid, even though he's Kryptonian that has powers. Okay.
far away from it at the same time. I kind of dig that too. So that begs the question then, since they're kind of utilizing more of that design from Kingdom Come, which by the way, Brandon Routh did as well in the CW when he became in that multiversal crossover stuff they did. Brandon Routh played Superman again, and they put that Kingdom Come S on him. It begs the question.
Yeah, but I watched that. But he wasn't Kingdom Come Superman. That's the thing, though. He didn't act like that. Okay, jaded, all that. You know what's closest to Kingdom Come Superman? You know what's the closest version to it? Who could become like that? Henry Cavill Superman. Henry Cavill Superman would have fit as Kingdom Come. Would have fit in a Kingdom Come storyline.
Does that give us any inclination about what the themes in the movie will be? Are they actually going to borrow themes from Kingdom Come? Now, normally, like a design choice on a superhero costume means absolutely nothing. But when you take design elements from one of the most popular comic book stories of all time, that does beg the question, will they kind of do that? Hey, guys, we want to take a second to thank us.
Also, they do it to sell merchandise. It's like... Why do you think sports teams have new jerseys, new hats, new merchandise every single year? It's to sell. Oh, I didn't know this. Tell me about that.
Today's video, the perfect gene. Campea throw at you, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's all very exciting. I got very, very giddy when I got that update on my Instagram feed from both James Gunn, and then I follow all their trades too. So I was getting all these alerts for everything. I'm really pumped about this. I saw in the chat a whole bunch of you kept saying Kingdom Come. This sounds biblical. What is that? Kingdom Come is this amazing 4-issue arc that was published in 1996, and it's an Elseworlds imprint. And it's a really, really great story with
one of the best
beautiful-
ever.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's some of the best art you'll ever see.
Oh,
It's
that art is awesome.
Alex Ross just doing what he does best, and it's all painted, right? No shade to anyone who does the digital coloring right now.
It's
That's
just that
amazing.
it's so different.
It's just it's a very amazing visceral use.
I don't know if I like. I'd rather see. You know what, Degrassi? I want them to attack the Dark Side storyline again. I want them to go after Dark Side storyline. I want them to go after Dark Side. Honestly, I think Zack Snyder has some of the right ideas of making Dark Side as one of the main villains. It's just the execution wasn't really real. But I think I want to go after Dark Side again. But then Darkseid, Brainiac, Vandal Savage. I don't know who else. Anti-Monitor, you could do. If you want to do multiverse, you could do Anti-Monitor. Justice League Doom. Not Justice League Doom. These are the Doom. So much story. The Green Lantern, the Lantern War. You can have like it. Well, you don't have to necessarily do that. They don't need all the characters for that.
You see the brushstrokes kind of thing. Mark Waid is the writer on it, and
Mogul's not a bad idea
now,
either.
I don't think that this story is going to borrow from Kingdom Come, because that is a very elaborate Breaking Bad kind of situation. But I love that we are seeing how much James Gunn has researched. I love how we're seeing how one of the ultimate fanboys is really putting in the care for all of these details of saying, hey, these are the things I love. These are the things that I've sourced. And as a personal fan, these are the things that I would want in a Superman. Now, if that fires on all cylinders for everybody, we won't know until the film comes out.
And this is what I do.
It does give.
This is what I do. Like Degrassi. This is what I would do. The Avengers. The thing about the Avengers, right? The movies, when they had the final war with Thanos, right? Well, both Infinity War and Endgame. The war took place on basically Wakanda, and also out of the Avengers compound, right? When it got destroyed, right? In Endgame. What I would like to do, if they're gonna have some big war battle like that, I would not like to see them all. I would not like to see all the heroes in one place. I would like to see where Batman's in Gotham. Trying to protect his city from whatever invasion, whatever Darkseid sends his person. Wonder Woman, I don't know. Wonder Woman sends out like maybe Wonder Woman and the Amazons take on the furries or something at the mascara. The Flash defends Central City from whoever Darkseid sends out, wherever Dictator sends out from space. With the help of the rogues. If you get my drift, right? I like to, right? It's a one big war trying to protect your cities from an invasion, and because you know what DC and Marvel, what the difference is, what DC does better than Marvel, and I agree with some people that DC makes their cities mean something. Their cities mean something. And now Marvel has done that too, obviously, right? A little bit. Like Wakanda means something in the MCU, but overall, most of the places that they take place in, the city doesn't really have character or anything like that. The city's not a character. DC does a better job with that. Like Gotham, we know is a character itself. It's a gritty, hard place city, right? Metropolis is the opposite. Metropolis is more vibrant, more outgoing, more positive, right? Right? Central is all cities are different. They all have character in DC. I like to see that more in the DC world. In this. Okay? That's what I like to see. But this gonna be a permanent thing or just for the crossover?
Give me, much like the S, hope for how this is going to be.
You know, you pointed out like Kingdom Come is a
S for stupid.
very advanced story.
Yes.
And it's one a lot of people have always asked over the years. You think they could just do Kingdom Come? It's like Kingdom Come is not a movie you just make because that requires it's a story that requires you to know a lot of comic book lore and able to fully get it. And it's also about a much older Superman, an older Batman, an older woman, Wonder Woman with new generations coming in behind them. But there could be themes that they take from Kingdom Come.
Sure.
You know, there's somebody asked me on open mic the other day, do you think that maybe it could be like the beginnings of Kingdom Come, where it's like this new generation of heroes is being inspired by this current generation of heroes? The reason I don't think that's the case is because James Gunn has said that this new DCU, we're seeing Clark as Superman in the very, very early stages of his career, that he's only been at the Daily Planet for a year or two. So we're brushing past and blowing past Superman's origin story, which I really hope they do, unless they only spend like 2 minutes on it.
Yeah.
But we don't need to see a 15-20 minute Superman origin story again. So kind of pick it up with him 1 or 2 years.
They're not going to see the origin story, but I'm sure in future films, or they're going to mention some of his origin stories. They're going to talk about his origin story. You're not going to see the flashback or anything like that. But I'm sure they're going to mention in future films if he takes on like Darkseid, if he takes on Brainiac eventually, right? Brainiac, or if he takes on Brainiac's going to mention Krypton and Kryptonians and stuff like that. Darkseid, certain characters. I mean, you're not going to see his origin, but they're going to explain. They're obviously going to go into what's Kal, Superman, Clark. They're going to talk about, and they're going to use that. Now they're not going to do the Zod thing. Okay, that's Kara for a reason. Obviously, that's Supergirl. Obviously, right? So, I mean, they're gonna go. Don't be surprised. I mean, you're gonna have to eventually. You're gonna have to do some Superman. You're gonna have to incorporate some of his Kryptonian stuff into the future films or TV shows, whatever. They're not gonna premiere it. HBO show. Maybe they will. Maybe it's a cameo. I don't know. Maybe it'll be the Green Lantern show. Isabel's legacy. But how many years is the Superman gonna have as a protector of Earth? Because let's say if he's only protecting Earth for 1 or 2 years at the time, he doesn't have a legacy. Okay? Doesn't have a legacy. How many times is he protecting Earth at this time? That's the question. Because it's been insinuated in DC that Batman and Superman kind of became superheroes around the same time, ran into the vigilante business around the same time. But I don't know. And you have to have years to make a legacy. You can't have a year in 1 or 2, right? Batman, supposedly Batman is gonna be a veteran again, and he'll have a legacy, right? He'll have a legacy. That'll probably be full of super. Yeah.
In, which might be a little bit too early for the quote unquote next generation of superheroes to really be taking root, but there's still a lot of different thematic ideas in Kingdom Come that James Gunn may decide to borrow from, because he is such a nerd, right, about this stuff. And I think it'd be really cool to see what they do again, or maybe it's just a design choice and it'll have no overtones of Kingdom Come in it whatsoever, but I kind of hope that they do. Anyway, question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Superman is now shooting. They're filming it as we speak. It's now called Superman, Not Superman Legacy. And we've got our first look of the Superman logo that's taking a lot of design influences from one of the greatest comic book stories of all time, Kingdom Come. What are your thoughts about all of this stuff? There's a lot there to digest. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much.
Thank you, Campea, for your nothing you could be able to get you say something really stupid. Thank you, Campea. All right. Let's move on to something else from Campea.
The Kia EV6, the EV that lives for winter.
Penguin? How does
Penguin
has been
talk.
the Colin Farrell
Penguin
star,
talk.
The Penguin, which is, of course, a direct spin-off from the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman film. Listen, Colin Farrell, when they announced him as playing Penguin in the Batman, I, like everybody else on the planet, said, who? Colin Farrell playing Penguin? How does that make any sense? And then said they're going to do it with prosthetics.
I'm telling you. If this show is a hit, hot take here. If this show is a hit, one of the best HBO shows, if it's up there with, it's a limited series, so it's not going to be season 2 or 3. You know, well, you never know. But if it's like getting well received as one of the best shows of this year, Colin Farrell will be nominated for an Emmy playing this role. He'll be nominated for an Emmy. Hot take here. Colin Farrell will be nominated for an Emmy for playing the Penguin in this TV show. I'm calling it now. This show is going to be a hit. This show is going to be all their top pretty acclaimed shows usually on Sundays night. Now, like Game of Thrones is going to have the summer slot. This probably be the fall slot, fall winter slot, right? And then, so they got to hype it up for Batman. The Batman, which should be filming too. If you ask me, they should start filming the Batman. I wonder if they're gonna start filming that relatively soon because it's Superman's filming and Batman only comes out 2 months after, basically. But let's get into this.
Makeup. I'm like, all right, but it's Colin Farrell. Oh my God. Then we started seeing the first images of him from the Batman, and we saw the first footage of him. It's like he ruled in that movie. He is so good in this. And then they announced they were going to give him his own series, which of him becoming the new Kingpin of Gotham. And it's like, yes, all the yes, 100% all the yes. And then about a year ago, they put out that first making of teaser trailer. And it just made me drool. That scene where he's just sitting there, some guy's talking to him, and he just pulls a gun and starts shooting him, and he starts laughing. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, this is like all the best of Casino and The Godfather mixed with a DC superhero kind of film, like kind of rolled into one. And then they got it rolling and they started shooting the movie. And then the strikes happened. And it shut the thing down.
He said movie.
And it's kind of left it in a limbo, especially us fans in a limbo about not really having a clear picture on when this is coming out. We've heard them say they're aiming to get it out in 2024, but we also heard some people saying it looks more like 2025 sometime. Well, there are now reports going around that they've got their release window, and it is this year, and it could be the fall. This comes from the folks at Heroic Hollywood who wrote this. David Zaslav expressed his enthusiasm for the upcoming slate of Max content during the earnings call, stating, looking ahead, we've got one of the best lineups in the history of HBO. This next quarter, we'll have Hacks, which is a show I've never watched, but a lot of people.
Dune series? What Dune series is coming out? Is it related? Is that the Duncan Jones series?
Rave about. I've never watched myself, but people go crazy over it. We have Hacks, House of the Dragon, followed by DC's Penguin, and the new Dune series, which we're going to talk about that in the coming weeks, of course. Given the recent reports that House of the Dragon may premiere in early summer of 2024,
He says summer
Zaslav
2024.
comments logically place the Penguin on track for a fall of 2024 release, which, by the way, other outlets have been saying that's going to be its release window as well. This timing aligns with the recent wrap-up of production for the series, further fueled by reports of Batman actor Robert Pattinson being spotted on set during the final days. So we're talking about being about 6 months away.
Of course, Robert Batman's going to be in it at some point. Robert Pattinson's Batman's going to be in it. Of course. He has to be.
And by the way, did he just say, Zaslav say this next quarter for Dune, which would, of course, be the Bene Gesserit series? Oh my God. And by the way, I'm dying to see that now. I cannot wait to see that. But we're talking about the Penguin here. Man, if he's accurate about this, and we are talking about a fall right after the summer, so probably looking at sometime maybe
Yeah,
in September
I did.
of this thing coming out. Man, I'm so excited because I have really, for my own well-being, I just thought, you know what? Don't even think about Penguin because I have no idea when this thing's going to come out. And now I could actually be within sight. And he's right. If they could come out, if Max could do, again, I can't talk about Hacks because I've never seen it. I
It's
understand.
great. It's Gene Smart.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, and I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got Hacks, and then you do House of the Dragon season 2, which it doesn't have to be better than the last season, but if it's even as good as the last season, oh my God. And then you roll right into the Penguin, that is a solid lineup.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say the Bene Gesserit Dune series because we haven't seen a single thing about it yet, but man, that is a pretty good lineup for them. But I cannot wait for this Penguin series. Anyway, Chris, what did you think about the character of Penguin? You saw that.
This is the benefit. This is what the benefit. This is the benefit. This is where. Warner Brothers Discovery has the advantage over Warner Brothers when it comes to DC over Marvel. Look, all the Marvel shows you got from 2021. They barely got nominated for anything. Anything. Okay? And we know Marvel not Disney shows in general, actually. Not just Marvel, but Star Wars. Not just Star Wars, not just Disney, not just Star Wars and Marvel, but other shows that Disney does. Their shows never really are the most high quality kind of shows. They're not exactly the outstanding shows, right? They're not exactly high quality, shows, right? Especially the Marvel and Star Wars in Marvel shows. Yes, they're solid, but they're not exactly award worthy, right? Like Marvel shows get barely nominated for the major awards. Same with Star Wars shows, but some Star Wars shows this year did. Warner Brothers, on the other hand, when Warner Brothers put effort into their HBO shows, you could tell they care. They care about quality of the show. The care and quality of the show. And they're doing that with DC. They care. That's why you most likely see you'll most likely see the DC shows, not just for the Batman universe, but from James Gunn, be better than the Marvel shows from Disney. It's just that HBO. This is that Warner Brothers has push more quality into their HBO Max shows than Disney does with their properties. It's just how it is. Disney, it doesn't really matter about quality as much. Disney's not really about quality. The other companies are more about quality more than Disney. It's just how it is because Disney has this market. It's towards the children, the kids, and the kids don't know. The children don't know, right? I love that clip though. That's funny.
Teaser thing they put out a while ago. What are you expecting from it? And are you excited about the series?
I'm stoked about the series. More time in Gotham's crime underbelly. Like that's all I want. And Colin Farrell, I think just like superseded everyone's expectations.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think
for
anyone
sure.
thought that he was the guy to be Penguin, especially when it was, look at all this prosthetic work they did to make him look like a very sinister Richard Kind.
It was gonna be Jonah Hill, if I remember correctly. Jonah Hill was the was the was the first. Jonah Hill was offered the role of the Penguin, but he turned it down, if I remember correctly.
So he does a beautiful job. He just absolutely disappears into the role, not just because of those prosthetics, the way he holds himself, the way he speaks, the way he makes the Penguin just interact in this world. He does such a wonderful job in this film. For me, this is the thing that should have gotten him a nomination, not Banshees. This is what I really love him in.
Mm.
But that's just me. So I'm dying to watch
It's
this
probably
show.
because he wasn't
I
enough
love
in
that we
Batman.
will, in theory, because of those spottings, be getting a little Pattinson in there. It only makes sense to me to have some.
Is it a DC movie? I don't know. Light of day quickly.
Batman in the Penguin series, not ever present, but looming, popping in every now and then just to have
That's
that
my
connection.
only fear is people are gonna be like, it's boring.
Yeah,
'cause
I think it's gonna come out now, right? This obviously this has to cut, right? It's gonna come out now. It has to come out before the Batman 2, right? Right? And I think CC. I'm curious. Like, it's really, really early. It's really, really early. Extremely early. I'm sorry, I have a blanket. Extremely early. Comic-Con's in July. Obviously, Marvel and DC are going to be there this time because, there's no strikes. I'm curious. Are they going to talk about the Batman 2, or are they going to wait? Or are they going to wait to after the Penguin show? Because maybe some surprises in the Penguin show is going to tie into the Batman 2, and they don't want to spoil anything at the Comic-Con. Because to me, the Batman 2, I really want to know who the villain is, but what if the chance the villain is created in the Penguin show? I mean, we know the Penguin will probably be in one. Yeah, it does. I seen it. Yes, I seen it. Yes, I seen it. Yep, it does. They said it's coming out this year.
It could be an excellent crime drama, and people are still going to say it's boring because there's no Batman, there's no crime fighting. It's like, that's not what this is.
I don't want it to be, how people felt about Daredevil popping into Echo.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't enough Daredevil. Well, it wasn't his show, man. Calm down.
Yeah, it's not a Daredevil show. Did you notice it was called Echo?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
And so if we have the same thing with the Penguin of there wasn't enough Batman. Well, it's not his show. Calm down.
Yeah.
And what I always loved about Batman the Animated Series is it does what I love most in Batman stories of usually the typical antagonist is Batman. You're following the story of the villains most of the time. And so we kind of flip that whole protagonist antagonist thing because it doesn't mean hero versus villain. It's just who the story's following and who is antagonizing them. They can be on the side of good or evil, right? And I love the idea of following
Yeah, I mean,
the
look at
villain.
The Sopranos.
Exactly. So if we follow this and we have that kind of Sopranos thing where the good guy, quote unquote, is foiling his plans, but we're so invested in them, that makes for a really interesting watch. I think HBO could have something really great on their hands. Please don't fuck it up, guys.
Yeah, please. By the way, you mentioned that, and I kind of had the same thoughts that I really thought Colin Farrell could have gotten a Best Supporting Actor nomination for the Batman.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that a lot because there was another movie he was in. Oh God, I can't remember how many years ago it was now. That I was 100% believe fully he should have gotten a nomination, but he got overshadowed because it was in a movie with Tom Hanks, and I forget who the female lead in it was, but I think it's called Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh yeah, right.
About the creation
It
of
was
Mary
Emma
Poppins.
Thompson was the lead.
Who was that?
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson, right? So you had Emma Thompson and Tom Hanks, and so clearly that was Colin Farrell wasn't on the poster, wasn't any of that stuff, but I think it might be the best performance of his career. And I completely, to this day, believe he should have got nominated for an Oscar for that. Like, I thought he was just incredible in that.
He's
Anyway,
really upped his game.
Yeah.
He's gotten amazing.
he's become very good. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video,
Is that it?
Mint Mobile. Unlimited, overpriced wireless with all your comm. If so, what do you think about it? Now it looks like we've got a window. It could be coming in about 5 or 6 months. However you feel about it, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Man, I can't wait for this show. Oswald's Gang of Shine. Oswald Cobblepot. All right. Now something that probably make the Degrassi's blood boil.
Double the Dawn grease fighting power and double the scrubbing power for a no rewash clean and a cabinet ready shine. New Platinum Plus. No pre-wash, no rewash, or your money back.
Wolverine. I cannot wait. It is
This
my
is
most
the
anticipated movie of
confirmation
the year.
about the
Yes, it was
villain
even
and
just a little
Wolverine
bit more
and
anticipated than Dune 2.
Wolver-
It'll never be as
Deadpool
good as
Wolverine.
Dune 2, but
Confirmation of
I am
Dune.
more excited for this movie probably than any other film this year. And I love that
Yeah. From Hugh Jackman.
Wolverine and
Hugh
asshole.
Jackman put that up on his social media. I love that. But there have been still a lot of questions. We've had a first teaser trailer that didn't really give us a lot. It gave us a little bit, but really it's just a teaser, not a lot of information. Like, who ultimately is the big bad guy in this? Are there going to be multiples?
Big bad girl.
We know Emma Corrin is in it, but we don't really know who she's going to be. There were some theories about that mysterious
Just-
bald head from behind that some people
That's
have,
her.
that maybe
That's
that's
her.
Charles Xavier, or maybe it's Charles Xavier's sister.
It is a
Well, it
sister.
turns out
it is
it's
a sister.
exactly who it is. This comes us from the folks over at IGN who wrote the following. Emma Corrin's mystery villain in Deadpool and Wolverine. No,
We said that, right? We said that bald-headed person that in the trailer was the sister.
known as Deadpool 3 until recently, is confirmed to be the evil twin sister of X-Men leader Charles Xavier or Professor X.
Yeah, he's
Spotted
been
by
at the
Culture
grass.
Crave,
Yeah,
Deadpool
he
and
has
Wolverine's
been.
official copyright has listed Corrin's name against Cassandra Nova, a formidable X-Men villain who, of course, has a particular grudge against her twin brother. Her twin brother, Charles, who, sensing her
I
evil,
hope so. Maybe.
tried to kill
I
her
love
in the
Mojo.
womb.
Mojo.
And oh yeah, she's powerful.
Oh,
She's really
shit.
powerful. And how that's going to come into play here,
She
I'm
better
not
be
sure.
powerful.
So,
She's the
so
main
Chris,
villain.
this does confirm what a lot of people theorized,
Mhm.
that this was going to be Cassandra Nova. This is going to be an interesting thing because in a movie that I'm guessing is going to be
Oh.
filled with a lot of very recognizable cameos.
That doesn't even look like Professor Xavier. That doesn't even look like. That doesn't even look like Patrick Stewart. Okay, his ears. Okay, that doesn't even look like Professor. I know Professor Xavier are twins. Her and they're twins, but that doesn't even look like Patrick Stewart's ears, right? You could tell that's not Patrick Stewart. The Mojoverse. Mojo was funny. I remember her in the animated series. Mojo was hilarious. Pretty ugly too. Like, wolf. But you could tell. You could tell that's not Patrick Stewart. And that's definitely, you could tell that's a female. There's a way you could tell that's a female.
They went for, let's be honest, a name nobody's ever heard of outside
It's a
of
very obscure
a
villain.
very obscure
And a
villain to
relatively
lot of
new
comic
one in
people.
comic terms, because Cassandra Nova first made her first appearance in 2001, and it's a Grant Morrison character, which is why things are so just.
Is a villain that's over 20 years old considered new? New? Is a villain that's over 20 years old considered new? New? I don't know. Is there specifically a time frame on where a villain is not new anymore? she first appeared. Like, seriously, is there a time frame where a villain is not villain or new character in particular? It doesn't have to be villain or hero. Any character, side character. Is there like a time frame where they're not considered new?
Absolutely bonkers. Because if you've not read Grant Morrison's work, that is an Irishman who has some deep, deep issues. He has some spooky thoughts that I love. His stuff is always so weird.
You remember the animated series in '92? In '92, Charles Xavier, Professor Xavier, did have a brother, but remember they made it Flint Marco, Juggernaut, his brother in the show. You remember? Juggernaut was his brother in the show, half brother, right? In the show, if I remember correctly. So I assume in X-Men '97, whenever Juggernaut comes back, they're going to be related in that show. If it's a continuation.
And Cassandra Nova is this thing, pardon me if I'm mispronouncing it, y'all, because I've only seen it, a Mumadrai, where it is a being that does not have a corporeal form that can slowly build.
She's kind of like Sauron in the first couple Lord of the Rings films.
Exactly. And so it's just, there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And by the way, the Sauron take, Sauron did have a physical body, right? Right? Sauron did have a physical body, right? Before Lord of the Rings, he had a physical body. And by the way, Sauron and people like him of his race, whatever, from the Lord of the Rings literature, they can take on any form they want, though. If you know Sauron and his kind, when they came to establish not just Middle Earth, because Middle Earth is basically on the west side, the east side, but on the other side of the world, and you got Numenor in the middle between these two continents. Middle Earth is on the right, and I'm blanking on the other continent on the left, and Numenor was in the middle. The first inhabitants that went to this world were not men, were not elves. They were creatures that the creator of the Lord of the Rings universe, not J.R. Tolkien, but DeGrasse knows what I'm talking about. They could take on any form. They could take on any form they want. They were allowed to take on any form they want. Just to let you know.
There's this idea of everyone has their own Mumadrai, and this is just kind of that personification of this evil that we face. And it's weird. It's weird stuff. It's going to be cool.
It's also going to be interesting to see how this is going to play into the multiversal aspect of the whole thing as well. Man, oh gosh, I'll tell you what, I cannot name names right now, but I just got given a list of cameos that we should expect in Deadpool.
That's fun.
Yeah. And here's the thing, if I was working for one of the websites, they would write and print this right away. But if I even mention one, people say I'm spoiling it, even though other news sites would probably run with this. But there's gonna be a lot of cameos.
This did stop it before with Spider-Man. Okay. Give us the cameos, you buffoon. You did a Spider-Man No Way Home. Hasn't stopped him before, right, DeGrasse?
There's going to be a lot of cameos, some very big name, popular, famous character cameos are going to pop up in this thing. And I thought it was just very interesting. They decided to go with this character. But when you understand like the whole nature of the setting of the movie, this could be the perfect character for them to choose to do it.
That's very true.
Although
Doomcock said Deadpool is going to kill every single Marvel character. That's why least popular Marvel character. That's the plot of the story. That's what Doomcock said.
I don't know. Do you still have that picture, Jonathan, of the back of Cassandra's head? I don't know if you.
Yeah, I have.
If you got that,
let me grab it.
I don't know if anybody else agrees with me on this, but whenever I see this picture, that's a still from the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. When we get the back of the head of the character that we now know is Cassandra Nova, and do we have that?
Yeah, right here.
All right. Whenever we see it, tell me if I'm the only one that thought this. Tom Hardy from that Star Trek movie. When he was the clone of the younger Picard. Nemesis.
Yes.
That was it. When I see that, that's all I see in my head is Tom Hardy as a young Jean-Luc Picard clone in Nemesis. He looks like he's got the Romulan ear.
Yo. You think he's so hyped about this movie because we look who he sponsors, right? Mint Mobile, right? You know
the
why?
shape of the head is right. I mean, that's all I can see.
My first knee jerk was that it was Tilda Swinton.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
I thought it was
yes, as the ancient one.
And then I went, oh wait, no.
Hey, every bald person looks the same, right, Degrassi? Right, guys? Every bald person looks the same. Every bald person from the back looks the same. How do you know it's not Egghead from Batman 66? It looks like Egghead from Batman 66. Wait a minute, it looks like Dr. Evil. It looks like Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers. Oh my god, who's it looks like Lex Luthor. The bald Lex Luthor. Wait, is that Nicholas Hoult? Is that Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor? Is that Michael Rosebaum's Lex Luthor? You know I'm having fun with this, guys.
The other character makes more sense. Also, sorry, Grant Morrison is Scottish. I screwed that up. I lost all credibility. How dare I?
Oh man, why are you even talking?
I don't know. It's like this show is live, and sometimes I get my facts messed up.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On X Plus, there are other characters who come into the movie as well. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was fascinating. We now got our villain for it. And listen, by the way, maybe there will be other villains as well. We'll have to wait and see. Question.
I have no idea. Degrassi, do you believe he knows the list or not? Do you believe him? Do you believe him?
Is for you guys. What do you think about it? Many of you had the theory that that character was Cassandra Nova, and you were right. There she is. Do you like this kind of choice? Is it weird to you that they're not going with a bigger named villain sort of thing? Or do you think it's a great idea that they're digging a little bit deeper into the pantheon that they have? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the.
They'll save the bigger villains for X-Men stuff. More X-Men stuff. Oh, fuck. Can you imagine? Oh my god, can you imagine? Can you imagine? As oh my god, as a troll. Oh.
Comment section below and let us know your
thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast.
Okay, but that'll be I'll probably laugh. I'll be laughing at it. I'll laugh if that happens. All right, guys. It's you know what? I've been up for an hour, but I still got time to go. I still got about half an hour. So I'm gonna find another video. These were the 3 videos I was scheduled to look at, but I got some more time. I got more time. So yeah, let's look. I'm gonna search for something for you guys, okay? For your entertainment. Let's see what there is. Okay, want to do this? Dune 2. Want to look at Dune 2? This is Campea from Dune 2. Now I've seen Dune 2, Part 2, past Thursday. Long movie. But I'll do my spoiler review tomorrow. But the movie is very good. It's very good. But Batista, man, his character was basically a jobber in this film. I'll just say that. His character was like, man, no. His character was basically a jobber. Like, this guy, like, this is not Batista, but whatever. But Dune 2 is very good. As of now, that's not my check. Not now. Rotten Tomatoes scores for the critics in the audience score is actually about the same, 95 to 95. That's yeah. I don't know. Maybe they can. They gotta do something. But this movie, yeah. So Dune 2. It might be the best sci-fi trilogy, sci-fi/fantasy trilogy since Lord of the Rings. In my opinion. And that's 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Okay? Now, my issue with this film is I feel like the action scenes were a little short, or too short. They're about 5 minutes. That's it. Okay, we're really, really short. The action scenes. Really, really short. Also, yeah, and what they did to Batista. Like, Batista, I'm sorry. Batista, I mean, like, but whatever. But it's a masterpiece of a film, okay? In this film, okay? And I've been saying this, and a lot of people disagree with me. This film does have potential to make $1 billion, okay? And I'm going to bring this up because of
that grimy film on your teeth.
Dr. G?
It's actually the buildup of plaque bacteria, which can cause cavities.
Unlike other toothpastes, Crestro Health's
I-
antibacterial fluoride
I
fights bacteria
didn't
for
know-
12 hours.
It stops cavities before they start.
Crest.
Every day I wonder.
One of the
I didn't know the author of Dune. Apparently, I found out yesterday. I did not know this, that he was a homophobe and was pretty much everything against what the progressives or the right progressives stand for. And apparently, the Baron Harkonnen's character in the original Dune books were supposedly anti-gay, anti-stuff. Like, I don't know. I watched a video on this. But they changed this. But the films, they changed his character in the previous films. I don't know. That's what I heard about the author of Dune was not particularly a very good person, despite creating a successful franchise, books, and the movies, and obviously these movies. It's not the strangest things in there. It's not the strangest things. I'm sorry, but like, y'all, a lot of the stuff that we love, a lot of books that we love that turn to film. If you find out the truth about the author, J.K. Rowling, obviously, J.K. Rowling is a big one. But if you know the author for Ronca, he's an anti-Semite. We all like to praise Shakespeare, right? We all like to praise Shakespeare's plays and stuff. But if you know Shakespeare, anti-Semitic, homophobe, not really well liked either. His work, tremendous. But we got to separate the author from... Yeah, the Baron is gay. Yeah, exactly. And they changed it. But we got to separate the author from the work, right? And we find out in this film, now, I can't spoil this, but we find out in this film about the truth about the Baron and Paul and the mother, Paul's mother, who becomes a little spoiled, becomes a Reverend Mother, about about 20 minutes into the film. But whatever. I'll separate that. I'm not one of those people where I boycott, man. Okay. Let's get into this.
Maybe the best movie that's come out in theaters in the last 5-10 years. Dune 2 is now officially, I mean, they had their advanced fan screening, but as of last night,
It's not, though.
boom, it's official. Bunch of you guys, I'm sure, probably went to go see it already.
years?
It's in theaters. Audiences are out enjoying it, all that kind of stuff. The question that we have had, now that we know the reaction to it, I think right now, both the critic and the audience scores, I think, are both at 95,
I said
94,
that.
95, 96,
I said
something like
that.
that. Now that we know the movie's great, how is it going to do? And that's kind of become the next topic of debate. Will it make $60 million? Remember, the first one made $40 million on its opening weekend. There's a few caveats with that, but still open to $40 million last one. Will it make 60? Will it make 70? We've heard projections saying probably 80. We've heard high end 90. Some folks like Rob are saying, and some of you guys are saying, it's going to be over $100 million. Well, now we've got a little bit of sense of the pace that it's on, because according to Deadline, the opening night has made $12 million, which exceeds that of Oppenheimer. It exceeds that of Oppenheimer. Now, if you want to then try to chart a trajectory from that.
Because to be honest with you, there is more hype for this movie than Oppenheimer. There's people more hype for this movie than Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer did well, nominated for a bunch of awards, obviously lead actors, all of that. But there was more hype for this movie than Oppenheimer. Hell, they were hyping up this movie back in November. October, November. Okay? Oppenheimer got a boost because of the whole the Barbenheimer phenomenon going around. So yeah, you get my drift.
Oppenheimer ended up making it, I think it made $10 million in its official preview. And it ended up making, Ray, you can double check this for me, but I think it's $83 million. I think that's what Oppenheimer made on its opening weekend. So with Dune Part 2, its previews exceeding that. What did Oppenheimer make opening weekend?
The opening was $82 million.
So $82 million, which is kind of where some people have been projecting. My guess was it's going to make about 80. So it actually exceeded
I see
what Oppenheimer did. So are we looking at that $80 million, maybe $90 million opening? Now, there's still some people telling me that they really believe that it's going to make way more than that. And let's go to a bit of a ticket watch here. So if I go to my AMC thing right now, and sure enough, this is for tonight at the AMC Tyler Galleria out here where I live. If I go to a 6 p.m. IMAX showing, what do we got here? I mean, obviously you don't count the front rows, but pretty much just single seats available left. Okay, that's cool. But that's that. And I think if I go to the Dolby screen, go to 7 p.m., it's probably going to be mostly full. Yep, we got some single seats other than the front row that are available, but pretty much getting just sold out there. But here's the problem. If you go to a regular theater in the AMC, like not Dolby, not IMAX, and let's check a 7:15 screening.
I lost someone, and then things changed.
Yeah.
And we've got about 10, 15 tickets sold. Again, this means I think it's on track for that 80 to 90. I don't know. Like some people are throwing out the number of $120 million. I just don't see that. I mean, I hope it does. Fingers crossed. But I think, Chris, at this number that we just saw, that 12 million in previews, I mean, that also included the advanced preview, but that then takes people who would have gone opening night anyway. So you're talking about 12 million. Oppenheimer as our kind of
this is going to make a billion.
Bar,
sure.
Got about that, a little under, about 10 million, and it went on to make $82 million opening weekend. Seeing what we've seen, hearing the buzz that we've heard,
it's going to make a billion.
Where do you think right now, if you had to guess how much?
Let me check stuff at my local theater right now. It's a Saturday, right? Obviously more of a free day to do stuff, right? My local theater for it. I'm going to check right now. All the timings for today's Saturday. That's obviously that's Uh, okay, 5:30. No, not 5:30. You can't see 5:31. But 7 o'clock. Let's see. Contrarian, yeah. Okay. There's still seats available, but it's pretty it's getting filled up. That's for 7 o'clock. 7:30. Okay. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. And this is my theater. This is a local small independent theater. Imagine Theaters is more of a small independent compared to like what you guys have. Right? It's small compared to that. It's okay. 8 o'clock, almost sold out too. 8 o'clock, and there's no special kind of theater. There's no 3D. There's no Dolby and everything. It's just regular viewing. Nothing special. Okay. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 p.m. last scheduled time. 9 o'clock, not so much. Not so much. Okay. Let's go to Sunday. 12 p.m. Sunday. Now 12 p.m. might be less, but they're still reasonable size for 12 p.m. Noon. Okay, 3:30. 3:30, nah, okay. But you gotta remember, those are people that reserve. Those are also people that reserve seats, right? Yeah, exactly, Degrassi. See, you gotta remember, sometimes people buy tickets at the theater. They don't necessarily always reserve it online. People buy. See, that's what Campea is forgetting, right, Degrassi? Campea is forgetting. Sometimes people go to the theater and they buy the tickets at the theater. Okay. Like, not everybody buys their tickets online. They actually go to the theater and they get the tickets there. I've done it before. This is true too. So he's looking at his theater, right? And here's the thing. His theater has a bunch of viewings, right? So obviously they're not going to be as packed. If you have a bunch of viewings, you're going to go to the best viewing possible. It's not going to be as packed if you have so many viewings of the same movie. Yeah, exactly, Degrassi. Yeah, exactly. But like, if your theater has a bunch of more than 10 viewings of the movie, obviously it's not going to be packed or sold out for all of them. So you can't really use the online thing as a form of evidence, because it actually doesn't tell the whole story, because you're forgetting stuff. You're forgetting very basic knowledgeable, common sense kind of stuff.
Doom 2 is going to be making officially in its opening weekend. Where would you put that number now?
I'd put it in that 100 mil number.
So
I'd put it over there.
I think it's going to be 100 mil.
Especially with Oppenheimer kind of as your base, like your litmus test, right? Because so much of that was
I agree with her. I think it's going to be 100 mil.
And Dune definitely has that going for it. Most of the people I know who are wanting to see it again.
This movie is going to make 100 mil, and the word of mouth is going to help this movie. Okay? The word of mouth is going to help this movie a lot. Okay? Because of how good it is. And the positivity, everything around surrounding this movie. I'm telling you. This movie, I know Degrassi, $1 billion doesn't mean anything. But for the sake of talk, We like to talk which movie is gonna make $1 billion. It's gonna make $1 billion. It's already 35, and the day is not even done. Right? The day is not even done. And I bet you by the end of the day, it'll be over 50, Degrassi. Over 50.
Are going to go see it the second time in IMAX, the third time in
I heard that too.
IMAX. I mean, your wife is going to make sure this movie crosses that threshold.
Oh yeah, if she's seen it twice already, she's going again tonight.
Yeah.
See,
I'm going to go, I think, on Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing it because everyone keeps talking about how wonderful this is. And I'm hoping that it changes how I feel about the first
Because
Dune.
you are like we talked about how the Dune franchise, unlike Star Wars, which is really for the masses. Star Wars is for everybody. Dune is not. Dune's not going to be for everyone. And you were one of the people
It was
that
a slow
the first
burn
one
for
didn't
me.
really work.
Not everyone can be of the Dunedaine.
They
so,
can be
yeah.
the Dunedaine.
We were talking about this earlier.
I hate it so much. Well, and for me, I know I've said it on here before, it was boring Tremors because I had an expectation, and that's on me, but it was just, this is the sci-fi epic off you guys keep shitting yourselves over? What? So I'm hoping that connecting the two is going
I wouldn't
to
say I did that. But.
make me happy. Well,
I'll say this. It is a little sci-fi, but it's not to a point where it's like Star Wars. I say it's more religion and politics and more than sci-fi. Yeah, yes, they have sci-fi elements in it, like on a planet, weapons, technology, but like Star Wars is more sci-fi than this. Yeah, sci-fi has religion too, but it's a lot more sci-fi than this, than Dune. Dune is actually, Dune is more religious. It's more of a, how can I say it, Dune? My best description of Dune. Dune is more of, let's say 2,000, 3,000 years ago, we live in biblical times. The idea of the Messiah, the idea of the Romans coming in. I'm not going to, be careful, people, don't go at me, but the Romans coming in, trying to take over Israel. They hear about apparently this Messiah, whether you believe in Jesus or not. You get the idea, right? That's the idea of Dune inspired. But think about Dune, but think about those times with, if the Romans had technology like that. That's what basically Dune is. It's a little bit, to me, it's more religious sci-fi than actual full-on blood sci-fi. Okay, and to be honest with you, all the best sci-fi adaptations have some form of politics, some form of religion in it. From Star Wars to Star Trek to Dune. Those are the three main ones I can think of right now, right? Right? Religion, politics, all that. Even Lord of the Rings, even though it's not sci-fi, but it's fantasy, has politics in it and a little bit of religion in it. Religion's not the main big thing there, but there's a little bit of religion in there. But Dune doesn't focus on really robots, or whatever. I say it focuses more on politics and religion.
But hey,
Yeah.
I'm of the Dunedaine. So.
I'm still going to put it in the 80s.
First of all, the Dunedaine are from Lord of the Rings, not from Dune. The Dunedaine are from Lord of the Rings. The Dunedaine is what Aragorn is. That's a Dunedaine from Lord of the Rings, not Dune. Someone needs to correct him on that.
Like I initially said 80. I think it's still going to be in the 80s. I think I would need to see. I mean, it's great that the IMAX screens are selling out, and it's great that the Dolby Primes are selling out. But to get over that 100 million, I need to see more tickets getting sold for the regular theaters. And
Sure, that's fair.
we're just not seeing a lot of those. So if it's going to really be limited to the IMAX and the specialty screens, which, by the way, if you've got an option and you're going to see Dune 2 tonight, see it in Dolby Prime or see it in IMAX. Try to see it in one of those premium.
When you see smaller local theaters having their theater sold out, that's a good sign for a film, okay?
Screens if you can, but if not, by all means go to one of the regular theaters. But that's why I think it's still going to come in around 80. I hope I'm wrong. This movie deserves like 120 $130 million opening, but I think they would be very, very happy, and they should be very happy if it comes in at around $80 million.
What I
And
really want to know is how much money has AMC made off of the buckets?
Well, they're sold out.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Wow.
So Ann and I go into AMC last night to watch Dune 2 again at one of the earlier first screenings.
Mhm.
They were already gone. On the Thursday night preview night, all the buckets were already
Told you.
gone.
Damn.
Because I determined I'm going to buy one. I'm going to get one because, I mean, it's a talking piece if nothing else. And
You can
I
flip
looked
that on
around
eBay.
and they weren't anywhere. And I asked the kid at the counter, it's like, do you guys do you have to ask for them specifically? You're just not putting them up front?
They're in a special section.
And they're like, oh no, like they sold
They're
out. in the
behind a
first-
curtain.
Yeah.
Curtain.
They between the preview and tonight,
Yeah.
like they said, we sold out like within 2 hours.
You
They
might
were
have
gone.
made a mistake by not getting it. that
Yeah,
night.
I think I did. Now you know they're going to reload. They got to reload.
Phrasing.
Maybe.
They have to. I mean,
Because
AMC.
I know that-
AMC is money strapped. This is free money.
I said that about the bar. You know, they had the Barbie like a popcorn thing because the AMC actually has a website where you could go on after and get previous popcorn buckets,
Really?
and it'll say, yeah, they have a merchandise.
I
site.
did
They-
not know
They
that.
actually have shirts with Nicole Kidman's.
He's
speech
gonna
on it.
outfit.
It's great, but
He's gonna F it.
like
Why is that picture up right now?
What is this?
Jurassic City.
Jurassic
I
City.
just figure it's a talking point.
Jurassic
We still
City.
talk about Jurassic City.
we'll hope they reload. We'll see.
But here's the thing. I don't think I'd want to.
Jurassic City.
Like, I would like to have
Like it's
one of those buckets and say, I actually got this
Yeah.
at the movie. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
order it after. It's like ordering a
Yeah, right,
concert tour shirt off of the website instead of being actually there.
right.
I don't know. That's just me.
Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Gene. Guys, are you tired of
Man, I'm telling you, taking me to trash. You know what they should do? They should have dinosaur hunters in the next Jurassic Park movie. Dinosaur hunters. You know, like Turok. Yeah, they should have something like that. Like that. More of a modern Turok with actual guns and stuff like that, taking down dinosaurs that are threatening human life in Jurassic City. And you know what? Jurassic City? This Jurassic City? Jurassic World, Jurassic City should be basically what the third movie should have been. Instead of that Old Dominion or whatever it's called. But Jurassic City. Did we get that when they went to San Diego? Jurassic City. Yeah, Escape from New York but with dinosaurs. Yeah, exactly. You can have Kurt Russell Snake in there. Kurt Russell Snake hunting down dinosaurs or escape from them. Or you could have Sauron from Marvel in it. You know, Sauron, the green pterodactyl mutant. You get the Savage Land in the Jurassic Park movies. I don't think it's a pterodactyl, right? What is it? It's not a pterodactyl. It's a pterodactyl. A different flying dinosaur. A pterodactyl, not a pterodactyl. I don't know. What the hell is the difference between a pterodactyl and pterodactyl? Whatever it's called. The other. But I'm telling you, Campea is underestimating Dune 2. They should use. I think. You know what city they should use? They should use Chicago, and we can see the dinosaur try out some deep fried pizza. Would you like that? A dinosaur eating deep fried pizza, deep dish pizza, fried dish pizza, whatever we're eating in Chicago. I believe they got a good director. Garth Edwards is a good director. I'm sorry. But yeah, Campea is underestimating Dune here. I'm sorry, he's underestimating the Dune's box office. Man, I think yeah, that's true. I agree. I agree. I agree. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Hour and a half. Tomorrow, let's talk pop up main channel. We'll talk Doom Part 2 spoiler review and more Superman stuff. Take care, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Take care.